the jokes that I keep having in my head about my sister are funny. There's the whole thing about people me not believing that a mother can pick up her baby and put that baby in a dustbin, maybe because it's pooed itself or something. I was kind of saying that Sophie not wasn't that bad, but that there's something about her that makes me think that she's capable, or people that are worse than her are capable of doing that. And then I'm kind of thinking about me feeling like this world is just one big dustbin. And yeah, so basically that is what I've done. Like all God is done, picked people up and put them in a big dust. It's not funny, but it's just the truth about the world. And I feel like this. I'm analyzing lots of things in my head, and there's so many things that I'm trying to like look into, and I'm feeling like, oh, I'm seeing that, and oh, I'm seeing that, and yeah, I'm seeing loads of stories that seem to relate to the different names and stuff, and it's just it's very very deep. I look a mess. Sorry, I can't. I think I didn't take the makeup off from yesterday. I've been lying in bed all day, very very tired. I can't seem to get up right now. Oh, I managed to get up now, but um, yeah, I don't know. It's very weird, but I keep seeing things, and I keep try and work out what people are thinking and what they have been thinking, why they've done what they do. Why did Rihanna stop making songs? Um, on one hand, she probably thinks that I hate her, and on the other hand, I do. But on the bigger hand, if you compare her to all the people in the Middle East, I much prefer Rihanna. She's far more interesting. And yeah, I feel like maybe people have been going through loads of, if they know about me, they've probably been going through times where they feel like my higher self is going to kill them or is just using them. But I feel that way, that I feel like that's how you were using me. And I don't know if you still are or not. Um, and I'm analyzing things very, very deeply, and um, I should probably stop because it's yeah. But I kind of wish I was, if I was in a Big Brother house, I can kind of like, uh, if I have thoughts in my head, I can say it and talk about it. And yeah, right now I feel like I'm having conversations with people, but at the same time, I feel like I'm only doing it through my head. And but anyway, I am, yeah, this whole thing is very weird. And but yeah, I don't know what else to say right now. Uh, don't know what's going to happen with the shows or whatever. I feel like I prefer Big Brother to Love Island definitely, but at the same time, maybe the second show should be like Big Brother, but with a combination of Love Island, or I don't know. I mean, the title Big Brother, if it's doesn't really say that much about, um, if you're going to try and use the second show to make it all point to you, maybe using a Love Island as the name rather than Big Brother might be a better a solution because people, I don't know, England's got a lot of viewers watching Love Island, and I don't like that, but they do. So I don't know. I'm trying to analyze what people are doing and what you can see the overall picture of things. Things happen for a reason, and it's like a big spider chart, and you're trying to work out what different things mean. Um, and yeah, and it's interesting how I said I don't really support the presenters, and then I realized I kind of missed out Jimmy Fallon, Ellen DeGeneres, and Oprah. Um, those are three big names, but they're all American. There's um, and so but I don't really know what to say about them. I don't know what to say about them. I feel like Jimmy Fallon might be involved in some way. I don't know how. I don't feel like it's in a good way for me, but it might be. I just it's hard to think about the planet because the planet is so big and full of so many different people, and I'm living in England. England's very pretty, um, and yeah, it, it's hard to talk about the world in such a horrible way when I'm also at the same time living in quite a nice country. Um, but yeah, you look at pictures of what's going on in uglier countries, and it's just it's like God's just picked her children up and just put them in a dustbin. That's how I feel, and I feel like this illness that God has is affecting this illness that I have because of just feeling drained, feeling confused, feeling like I'm controlled by mental illness people. I've just seen a report about um, Kanye West um, controlling his girlfriend. I mean, I don't know what the truth is. He's walking around like a lunatic, but I feel like he knows or something, and he's doing that deliberately to show how mental illness people need to leave because mental illness is affecting other people and causing the mental illness to get bigger. I feel like people having mental illness is affecting me, and it's making me confused. If I'm confused and if you're made in my image, the more confused I am, the more confused you will be, the more mental illness will grow. It's also like depression. If you hang around people that are depressed, you become depressed. On one hand, depression is mostly caused by overthinking and just seeing negatives, but the fact that you can see negatives means that you're smart and that you can see the truth. And to deny that is just forming a mental illness in yourself because you're constantly telling yourself that things are better than they are. Things are pretty. You can have a really good life if you focus on the positive. Um, but but yeah, I think the reality of the world and the bigger picture is that it's sick, and people are making each other sicker by convincing themselves that they're not sick. By saying if you want to kill yourself, we're going to lock you up and put you in a mental hospital and tell you that you're ill and tell you that you need to have medication um, to heal yourself because there's something mentally wrong with you because you want to die. When in reality, you can look at how awful this world is and think, what the fuck? Why would someone be mentally ill if they want to die? I mean, surely they're just sane. Surely you're the mentally ill one for thinking that they're mentally ill for wanting to die in this world. There's so many two different ways, completely different ways, loads of different ways you can see things. And and yeah, mental illness is controlling this world, and it needs to change because people need to see, need to be smart. They need to be smart. People are helping the poor, and that they feel good. I'm helping the poor. This is a good thing. But if all you're doing is helping the poor by giving them money so they can go off and buy drugs that they want because they probably want to die and they don't want to live and they're unhappy and they can't see how to help themselves, or they don't want to help themselves, and they're just miserable probably because maybe I'm miserable, and if I represent everyone, then I just I feel like there's just this complete cycle over and over again, and mental illness is controlling a lot of things. Only people are so stupid they can't see what's mental illness and what's not, and they would rather believe, instead of believing that mental illness is down to stupidity, they'd rather believe that there's a magical pill that can fix it. I think there is a magical pill that can fix stupidity, but that's one that kills you. And yeah, you know, you could force people to not take drugs by making them very, very expensive. But at the same time, by making them very, very expensive, you actually make them poorer because they go off to try and steal lots of things to pay for these drugs that they've become addicted to. So by illegalizing them, is it a good thing or a bad thing? On one hand, you need to teach people, you need to talk to people. That's how you fix it. You tell people the reasons as to why. If you're trying to get a child to not want to eat a whole cake, you can't just say, oh, don't eat the whole cake. You have to say, oh, it'll be better if we save it, if we spread it over a few days. And also, if you'll get very sick if you eat a whole big cake all at once. Think of Matilda eating that big cake and stuff. There's, if you explain to people why they shouldn't do something, they're more likely to do it. This is another thing that's annoying me. I go to spa 3 times a week. Now I'm on the phone and on the computer all the time, and I find it very useful because I can study whilst relaxing. I like relaxing. I need to relax. I need to keep my mind and body calm, and I need to be on the phone. And yeah, every time, like every 10 minutes or something, it's not, well, not that often, but every half hour or hour, someone comes around to tell people to stop having their phones in the swimming pool. And everyone it sits on these deck chairs, have it with their phones on, and they keep saying you're not allowed. And I've asked, why are we not allowed phones? And they said, oh, because you might take pictures of people. And then I was kind of thinking back, I have actually already taken pictures. I wanted to show how nice the spa was, and occasionally there was people in there. So you that stopping people from using phones because they might take a picture, that's not actually stopping them from taking the picture, because anyone can take the phone out and take a picture. Whereas if you actually told people the reason why you shouldn't have the phones in the spa is because you shouldn't take pictures of people, and you shouldn't put them online because people, they might not want their picture on your profile or something. If you actually get to the root of the cause and say the problem isn't actually the phone, the problem is taking pictures and you putting that online. If I would have known that, I wouldn't have put those pictures on that line. Or if I did, I was trying to find it. I think it was a few months ago or something. But I'm sure there are a couple of pictures where there's a few backs of people. And if they would have said the reason why you can't have phones is because we don't want you taking pictures and putting things online, I would have not done that. But because that wasn't the issue, that they always made the issue just about the phone, it always just annoyed me, because it's like, well, I want to relax, I want to be on my phone, and I'm God. Why are you trying to like stop me from being on my phone? Because okay, it's stressing me out and stuff, but at the same time, I'm learning from it. It's all. I hate reading, but I am learning from the things that I read and stuff, and but yeah, I think that's there's so many problems here. 99 problems is not the actual number of how many problems there are here. Um, um, and things like this, not explaining to people why they shouldn't do something. You shouldn't do drugs because, oh, look, this person, I've heard a story where someone, took drugs and they thought they could fly and they jumped off a building and they died. If you tell people that they shouldn't take drugs because you might start believing that you can fly and you might end up jumping off a building, you'll probably not want to take drugs. But if you tell people you shouldn't take drugs um, because they're bad. Well, I want to experience how bad. That's what you would say. By saying that, you're almost tempting them to have drugs more. Oh, they're bad. How bad? I want to know how bad these drugs are. I mean, people always told me that I shouldn't take them, and I've kind of just believed that because I think it's the truth. And I have heard that story where someone killed themselves because they thought they could fly, and I've always wanted to fly. So yeah, that would probably actually be a good excuse. And also, my uncle was bipolar, and he said that he was forced to take 40 drugs a day, and I don't understand any of it because I always thought he was kind of stupid, and I thought maybe the drugs was making him more stupid. But maybe they are. I just people are so stupid that I I feel like they're just telling themselves stuff just to make themselves feel happy. I'm helping these people by giving them drugs. Oh, but I'm also telling people not to have drugs because they're bad. Oh, but and then there's just loads of different things that people are saying and stuff, and also something came in my head, which is there's lots of songs about people playing with their pussy. God plays with her pussy, but I think she's talking about Doja Cat, not actually a vagina. But yeah, there's loads of different ways you can see things, and yeah, I think God is playing with humans like a kid or like an adult would play with Lego if their kids are around, and I feel like that's what she's been doing. The world is her kid. Well, not all of them. Whoever's listening to these videos and knows what's going on with me, I feel like my higher self is just playing Lego with you. And um, I know that people like Rihanna might be very scared of what might happen because of hurting me, or me thinking that she was doing everything she did to just to try and prove that I'm not God. I don't know. I don't know what, but there's a bigger problem than the singers. You know, the singers are nothing compared to the amount of poverty and the amount of problems and negativity and stupidity. Stupidity is the world's biggest problem because it's confusing. It's confused with mental illness, and I feel like mental illness is the state of this planet, because everyone's just trying to, to understand mental illness rather than just accept that some people are very stupid and to try and focus on what's not stupid.